All right, so the best way that I can kind of frame this is finding what suits you the best, right? How do we make ourselves actually ask ourselves questions that are suitable to making our goals and achievements just more possible? A lot of people find that they don't work on their mental strengths or thoughts at all, and therefore not allowing them to grow any further physically, mentally, or whatever the case may be in terms of them trying to achieve their goals. See, your mentality is key. It is honestly the most important thing when it comes to all aspects of life because whatever you're asking yourself is what actually gives you the ability to think on the questions. It gives you the ability to find out the answers to these problems that you're seeking. And not for nothing, but for me, I found best is that even believing in Christ gave me the ability to actually find a lot of peace in knowing that those mental thoughts and answers will come my way. But obviously, this is all external and this is personal to me. So, in your life, ask yourself questions that actually find those answers. You can use Warren Buffett's method of inverse thinking to genuinely find out what the answer is to your problem. We're not trying to just solve a temporary fix, we're trying to understand how to answer problems on a day to day basis as an entrepreneur or whatever you may be, whether that be it your job or something external. It's more so about the fact that you understand there is a general guideline to solving your problems. There always will be, and there always was. It's just a matter of you framing it the right way mentally to be able to solve those problems. And so I find it best to use a lot of other people's techniques to solve my problems, but at the same time, I know myself best. And what's worked for me the most, I'd say, is the simple. It's simple, but it just works. It's hours on end of thinking and doing and learning that specific issue. I don't comprehend things as quickly as other people do. I'm not a genius off the bat. I have to actually put the hours in to achieve what I want to achieve and actually get there. I mean, for example, yesterday I had a college exam, my second exam for calculus, and I went to study from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock at night and then took the test. Literally, whatever time that was, it was, I believe, around 7 hours of consistent studying of the exam review over and over again to then take the actual test. Because my brain works in the way that if I continuously do something over and over again, then I actually find that I'm able to just do it the best. Because practice for me, it more so engraves like the security of my questions. Like I won't have the question of, oh, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? It's more so I'm confident in my ability because of the work that I put in, and so I know and I just go through it. I mean, when I got to the test, it was super easy, and that's a lot coming from a calculus college class for a second exam on whatever, etc. But I can use this model towards everything in life, and so I found it best to do that. Like when it comes to my company, I found it best to sit down and just take 10 hours out of my day and completely focus on that one specific thing, whether that be it super like learning a shit ton amount on a specific subject because of the fact that we need that at that specific moment in time, then that's what it will be. But at the same time, that's because I have a backbone to be able to sit down and actually work. You need that. You need the ability to be able to work. That's the reason why they say hard work beats talent. It's because of the fact that you working, you get so much more of a competitive edge. So much more. And that can be your leverage of work can be so little. Like, it doesn't even matter. If you put the volume in, if you put the work in, then you will become good at it. People look at passion and they sit there and they say to themselves, oh, I'm never going to be passionate about something, or I never found something that I love. This is kind of a recent topic in my life because I just made the decision to go to college not too long ago, and everyone in my peers, they're all asking these same questions. They don't know what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do, but at the same time, they don't put in the work to be good enough to know what they want to do. And so it's not a matter of, oh, finding a needle in the haystack of something you love, because that's not true. It's more so becoming good at it, then applying that and becoming even more good at it, that then you start to actually like it, because you suck so little. At the beginning, you suck at everything, but after a period of time, you suck a lot less and a lot less, and by the end of it, you're actually pretty good. It's a matter of understanding what is the best way to go about certain things. But at the same time, this is more so just ignorance. It's not known. And I'm prone to that as well, where I wouldn't know something at all in a certain topic, and that's what might mess me up in the future. But to go on about your mental framework behind everything, it all starts from you understanding yourself, you sitting down and actually having questions by yourself. Einstein, Newton, there was a couple of very smart geniuses of throughout history that would sit down and genuinely just think. It's this theory of body still, mind active, which goes into why they are so smart. It's because of the ability, it's because of their work that they put into their mind, of being able to think. Because thinking is a skill that no one works on. And it's sad, but your brain is the most powerful thing in your body. There's not a single thing that's more performance based than your brain, right? If you have a structure around improving it, now you really mastered a lot of the game, and that is the beginning of your stuff. That's the genuine beginning of your entire life, because of the fact that now you see things in a different light. There's a book called The Alchemist, and it explains how, I don't want to spoil this too much, but I'm just going to say one of the basic things that I found from the book that was intriguing, and one of the main points is that everything connects to one another. Everything connects to the soul of the world, because everything was created by God. This is obviously if you believe in that. But even if you don't, you can still take this away from it. Leonardo da Vinci said, learn the science of art, learn the art of science. Learn to see how everything connects to one another. That's exactly what The Alchemist is about. And those two stories are completely different. But at the same time, it connects. But if you understand it and you break down that entire philosophy, so what does it mean to learn the science of art? It's just that there is science to art, and that there is art to science. Like, look at it this way. Learn the science of basketball. Learn the basketball science. No, that doesn't work. But you can see where I'm going with this. There's science to basketball. And then basketball may or may not have a lot of things like hard work, dedication, teamwork that apply to science. And so if you look at it from that perspective of what actually connects to one another, you find that everything does. Some way, shape, or form. Like I just made basketball connect to science. Like every single thing connects to one another. And you understanding how to see every single individual aspect of your life connecting to one another, one, it's a very good experience because once you get it, it's like your eyes just shoot open and you understand it from you know from sitting that back and actually looking over your life. And people make this grand kind of fucking entryway about just the word life. What I mean by is what you've been able to accomplish, what you've done, and sit back and evaluate where you are and where do you want to be. And that is what's most important because these mental frameworks can allow you to get there. And if you don't ask yourself these questions, then you're just going to be in the loop. You're not going to understand why this happened, why this was working, why it didn't work. It's more so a matter of finding what works for you, because in the end, that's what's important. If you yourself as a person you don't know, anything about yourself, then you'll never become anything. And so, finding how to frame your thoughts in a way that it's from the ground level up, from starting point zero. I'm talking if you're in physics, try to understand the basics of why Newton came up with what he did, or why Einstein came up with what he did. But he's obviously advanced even for us who are in this generation. So you can even go back to, Aristotle. Aristotle and things of that nature. But for the most part, it's to understand things from the ground up. Why did someone think the way that they did in this moment? Why did someone do this? How did they build themselves up from zero to get to the point that they are? And it's not to copy it. That's not the point. The point is to understand for yourself how they came about. Because now that you understand it, you can replicate it, or not replicate it, but you can take points out of their situation and apply it to your own. And the way that you can do this is simply by taking a book or a page out of their book. It's some of the most fundamental shit out there. It's a perfect quote to say is how I believe Einstein said this, where he stood on the shoulders of giants that came before him. He's talking about all the physicists, all the mathematicians, everybody before him in physics that allowed him to get to the point that he is, because he took a literal page of formulas out of their book to get to the point that he is today, or at least was, right? And so we need to understand that from a logical standpoint or from a mental framework standpoint, we have to ask ourselves the questions that we really want to know. And here's another thing to kind of go into next episode is we need to also understand what our emotions are, first and foremost. We need to understand what's the best way to think about them and what are the ways that we can actually elaborate to move forward in life to be able to achieve better results, right? And this is, of course, pertaining to people that actually want to achieve better results, because a lot of people get this kind of confused where they don't understand that in the end, they might just be doing exactly what they're doing right now. What do I mean by that? Let's say you like fishing. You love fishing. Say you're a fisher. You make good money. $50,000, $100,000 a year. Right? So not good, not the best, not the most money in the world, just nice, good amount of income so that you can support yourself and your family. Because I'm going to humble you guys a little let's say you're there, you're happy as hell, you get to spend more time with your family, you get to do all the things that you genuinely love doing, you're the happiest person in the world, you got a beautiful wife, you got beautiful kids, etc. Or vice versa, you have a beautiful husband, you have beautiful kids. And in this scenario, let's just say that you want to, let's say you want to become rich out of nowhere. So you go, you get another boat. Fine. You get double your income. Now you're at $100,000, $200,000. And you do it again and again and again. To the point where you're at $10 million. All right, you're super rich, whatever, da da da. 10 years go by. And now what? Now you have all the money that you want. But who gives a shit? You're just going to go back to doing what you wanted to do in the first place, which is go on the boat and go keep fishing. So that you can spend time with your family right after and support your family with whatever you were supporting them with in the beginning. So understand what your goals are. This is going into episode 3, but it's to build the foundation of your mental frameworks and how you're going to decide what you're going to do. Because of the simple fact that we are trying to build mental frameworks from the ground up, literally from the ground up. And you, as you progress in your entire life, need to understand this because you won't get anywhere without it. You won't have the ability to think on your own. And obviously we all do, but you won't do it in a good way. And so us building our mental capabilities to get to where we actually want to get to go into a lot of different things. But it is a ground up. It is you understanding why I am doing this, asking the question, why am I doing this? So for anybody out there right now listening to this podcast, thank you for making it this far. But I just want to leave you off with this one question. Ask yourself why you are doing one of the things that you are doing daily. 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 So if you sit down after work to on your couch to watch television, sit down for an hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. Sit down and ask yourself, why are you doing this? And go in depth. Don't be, oh, because I want to watch the fucking game. Like, no. Genuinely go down into depth as to why it is that you do this. Some people will shy away from the first thought of doing this. But you need to understand you're not going to be good at thinking the first time. So be good at sucking it. Because you need to walk the talk and walk that journey of becoming a good thinker. This will automatically make you a better human being in all aspects of your life. But you have to sit down, think about why you're doing what you're doing. You're going to suck at thinking. So understand that and keep doing it. You can take 5 minutes, 10 minutes when you wake up, when you go to sleep. It only takes a little bit of time for you to actually think. Sit down in silence and think. Don't listen to what anyone else says. In that moment of time, just enjoy your peace and company. And so I leave you with that question. Take it as you will. Use it as you will. Ask yourself why you're doing something daily. Every single day, why do you do this one thing? Or weekly, whatever the case may be. So I want to leave you with that. I hope you guys have a blessed day. And yeah, this has been Conversations with Jordan Rodriguez. If you like this, obviously, I don't even know how this works yet, but I'm just kind of going along because I suck at this. And yeah, so I really don't know what to say here. It's either share, like, subscribe. I don't know what the indicator is, because I didn't do my research, but at the same time, I suck at it. So I'm just gonna be fine, and I'll get through it. All right, you guys have a blessed day, and see you later.